I'm 97 years old and I stayed married to the same man for 72 years. But here's what nobody tells you. Love had almost nothing to do with it. His name was Thomas. We met in 1950. I was 25. He was 27. We got married 6 months later because that's what people did back then. You didn't date for years and live together and test the waters. You met someone decent. You got married. And you figured it out as you went. And we did figure it out. For 72 years, until he died 3 years ago in our bedroom on a Tuesday morning while I was making him tea. People ask me all the time. They say, Elisa, what's the secret? How did you stay together that long? And they expect me to say something sweet, something about soulmates or true love, or never going to bed angry. But I'm 97 years old, and I don't have time for pretty lies anymore. Love wasn't enough. Love was never going to be enough. Don't misunderstand me. I loved Thomas. Deeply. Painfully. The kind of love that makes you feel like you can't breathe when they're not in the room. But love doesn't keep a marriage alive for 72 years. Love gets you through the first few years. Maybe, after that, you need something else. You need discipline. You need stubbornness. You need the ability to sit across from someone at breakfast and not say the thing you're thinking, because saying it would start a fight that would ruin the whole day. Let me tell you about our 3rd year of marriage. Thomas lost his job. We had 2 babies by then. I was 28 years old, exhausted, angry, and terrified. He wasn't looking for work fast enough. At least that's what I thought. I thought he was giving up. I thought he didn't care about us. We almost didn't make it past the 3rd year. I was ready to leave. I had my bags packed, but something stopped me. And it wasn't love. It was pride. I didn't want to go back to my mother's house and admit I'd failed. I didn't want people in town talking about how I couldn't keep my marriage together. So I stayed. Not because I wanted to, because I was too proud to leave. And you know what? I'm glad I did. Because 6 months later, Thomas found work. A year after that, we were stable again. And I learned something important. Sometimes the things that keep you together aren't noble or romantic. Sometimes they're just practical, or stubborn, or proud. But there was something I found after he died. A letter. And I didn't read it for 6 months because I wasn't ready to know what it said. The letter was in his desk drawer, dated 1953. The same year I almost left. It was addressed to his brother, but he never sent it. In it, he wrote that he thought about leaving me. He said I was cold to him, distant. He said he didn't know if I still loved him. He said he felt like a failure. Reading that broke something in me. Because I didn't know. I had no idea he felt that way. I was so wrapped up in my own fear and anger that I didn't see his. We were both suffering. We were both thinking about leaving, and we both stayed. Not because we talked it through or fixed the problem. We stayed because we were both too stubborn to quit. Here's something I never told anyone. Not my children, not my friends, not even Thomas. There were years, whole years, when I didn't feel anything for him at all. Not love, not anger, nothing. I looked at him across the dinner table and felt absolutely empty, like I was looking at a stranger I happened to live with. And I didn't leave. I didn't try to fix it. I just went through the motions. I made his dinner. I washed his clothes. I slept in the same bed. And I felt nothing. You would call that a dead marriage. You would say I was wasting my life, that we both deserved better. But I didn't see it that way. I saw it as a phase, something to endure. And eventually, years later, the feeling came back. Not all at once, slowly, quietly, like a plant that had been dormant coming back to life. If I had left during those empty years, I would have missed everything that came after. The good years, The years when I looked at him and felt grateful again, when I remembered why I chose him in the first place. But your generation doesn't wait for that. You feel nothing for 6 months and you call it over. You don't understand that emptiness is part of the deal sometimes, that marriage is long enough to go through seasons, and some seasons are winter. That's the truth nobody wants to hear. Marriage isn't about finding your perfect match. It's about two imperfect people deciding over and over again not to quit, even when they want to. Modern couples give up too easily. And I don't care if that offends you. I know you think I'm some old woman who doesn't understand your generation, your problems, your mental health. But I understand perfectly. You're weak. You want everything to feel good all the time. You want a relationship that never challenges you, never makes you uncomfortable, never asks you to sacrifice anything. And when it stops feeling perfect, when the butterflies fade, when your partner annoys you, when things get hard, you leave. You call it prioritizing yourself. You call it knowing your worth. But I call it what it is: quitting. You think you deserve someone who makes you happy every single day. You think if you're not happy, the relationship is broken. But happiness isn't a constant state. It comes and goes. And if you leave every time it goes, you'll never build anything that lasts. I stayed in a marriage that was hard, that hurt, that required me to be someone I didn't always want to be. And you would call that unhealthy. You would say I was settling, that I should have left, that I deserved better. But you know what? I built something. I lasted. And your generation? You don't last. You collect failed relationships like trophies and call it growth. You therapy speak your way through every uncomfortable feeling instead of just sitting with it and working through it. I'm not saying abuse is okay. I'm not saying you should stay with someone who hits you or cheats on you or destroys you. But I am saying that discomfort is not abuse. Being bored is not a deal breaker. Having a fight doesn't mean the relationship is toxic. The thing that kept us together all those years, it's not what people want to hear. It's not romantic. It's not easy. And most people today wouldn't do it. The thing that kept us together was commitment. Not the feeling of commitment, the action of commitment. Waking up every day and choosing to stay, choosing to work through the hard parts, choosing not to run when things got bad. There were times I didn't like Thomas very much. Times I thought about what life would be like if I'd married someone else, someone funnier, or more successful, or more affectionate. But I didn't marry someone else. I married Thomas, and I decided that meant something. If you're looking for the secret to a long marriage, I'll tell you. But I need to warn you first. It's going to make you uncomfortable. Thomas and I didn't have a perfect marriage. We had a real one. We fought. We disappointed each other. We hurt each other. But we stayed. We built a life. We raised children. We buried parents and friends and pets. We grew old together. And when he died, I didn't just lose my husband. I lost my witness. The only other person who knew what our life together was really like. The only person who remembered the same things I remember. The same fights. The same vacations. The same quiet mornings at the kitchen table. I miss him. But not in the way people think. I don't miss the romance or the passion. I miss the familiarity. I miss having someone who knows me, really knows me, the way only someone who's lived with you for 72 years can know you. I'm 97 years old. I live alone now. My children visit when they can. My grandchildren call on birthdays. And I sit in this house that Thomas and I bought in 1960, and I think about all those years. And here's what I know. Marriage isn't about happiness. It's about partnership. It's about building something together even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So if you're young and you're getting married, don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect to feel in love every single day. Expect to be tested. Expect to be disappointed. Expect to want to quit. And then don't quit. Even if your therapist tells you to leave. Even if your friends tell you you deserve better. Even if you wake up one morning and wonder who this person next to you is and why you ever thought this was a good idea, you stay. You work. You endure. And maybe it gets better. Maybe it doesn't. But at least you'll know you tried. At least you'll know you weren't one of the ones who gave up the second things, got uncomfortable. That's the secret. It's not romantic. It's not pretty. It's not what Instagram tells you marriage should look like. But it's the truth. And you can be offended by it, or you can listen. Thomas has been gone for 3 years now, and I still set 2 cups out for tea some mornings. I still turn to tell him something before I remember he's not there. And here's what I'll say that you won't like. I don't regret the empty years. I don't regret the times I felt nothing. I don't regret staying when everyone today would have told me to leave, because we built something, and it was ours, and it lasted. And most of your marriages won't. You'll get divorced. You'll move on. You'll try again with someone new. And maybe that's fine for you. Maybe that's what your generation wants. A series of relationships instead of one long, hard, real one. But don't tell me I wasted my life. Don't tell me I should have left, because I didn't waste anything. I built something that outlasted most of the people I knew. And when I die, I'll die knowing I kept my promise. Can you say the same?